Now, I'm going to talk in English because this is an extraordinary video. And the world needs to know the real war situation in the Middle East. There are a lot of people who just go on fibbing, this is happening, that is happening. They have no idea. They have no idea of the ground situation in West Asia, Middle East. President Trump talks of his hat. He says whatever he likes. I mean, he keeps talking about the world, how he has stopped wars, etc. And not a word about what is happening in the Middle East, how actually Israel is losing. And I'm going to present a comprehensive analysis of various theaters in the Middle East. Let's come to Gaza first. Now, Gaza, if you see, there is a stalemate. The so-called offensive of Israeli defense forces, which was supposed to start sometime around 15th of August, has not even taken off. There is a major battle between the military and the political leadership of Israel. So much so that in cabinet meetings, the military leadership, that is the head of the IDF, he himself, Eyal Zamir, and Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, the right-wing ministers in Netanyahu's cabinet, they have had a shouting match. In fact, Zamir told Smotrich that if you are so eager to win this war, then you go fight yourself. And if you can stand a day in Gaza, I will become your wife. I mean, the situation, so it has come down to ugly words between them. Now, let me explain the legal situation, because there is a legal aspect also. In Israel, the president is ceremonial. He is not the commander-in-chief of the army. The prime minister is also not the commander-in-chief of the army. It is the cabinet which decides, and the army comes under the Department of Defense or the Defense Ministry, which is currently being led by Israel Katz. So basically, the army acts on the orders of the cabinet, technically. But Netanyahu is the prime minister, he is the cabinet. Yet there is a catch, and the catch is that the army is also, it has its own autonomy. The army in Israel decides what to do or what not to do based on military logic and the legal issues surrounding the military logic. Now, Eyal Zamir is hesitating going into Gaza and occupying it fully because he says that I cannot control 2 million Gazans. There is no way I'm going to control 2 million Gazans. There is no way I'm going to establish a military administration. Involves a lot of responsibilities. It involves taking care of those people, humanitarian issues, medical needs, their needs of food, security, education, so many things. And immediately the IDF will come under the eyes of international law. Till now, only Netanyahu is under the eyes of international law. The army, there'll be a focus on the army itself. And Eyal Zamir will be held responsible. And when the issue comes, and this issue of international law is very serious, because Zamir knows that when the issue of legality of his actions comes up, Netanyahu can take a back seat, and then he will have to depend on Israel's Attorney General, Gyala Mahariv. And that lady, Israel's Attorney General, is not in favor of the Gaza invasion. She belongs to a faction which is opposed to Netanyahu. Now, how do you solve this dilemma? And this dilemma is not the only reason, it is not the main reason why the IDF is failing in Gaza. The main reason lies with the Palestinian resistance. And the Palestinian resistance has created its own hybrid warfare where they are combining guerrilla attacks with platoon level attacks now. Like in a band of 20-25, which has happened in Khan Yunis. Since June, July, August, more than 200 IDF soldiers officially have lost their lives. And the damage to equipment is huge also. It is huge. It is more than 52 to 60 tanks and vehicles. Now, because of this legal issue, there is a stalemate. And because of the military standpoint also, because Zamir feels that if he is going to advance into Gaza, then already Palestinian resistance has recouped its forces. After 7th October, during the early days of the Israeli invasion, its strength had depleted to say from 40,000 to say 15,000. Now they are Hamas fighters in particular are again 40,000 in number, and we have other Palestinian factions as well, and they are succeeding in eliminating IDF soldiers, and in fact they have also started a sniper warfare. They have also started targeted assassinations of individual IDF officers and soldiers accused of killing Palestinian women and children. So this is the overall backdrop in which Eyal Zamir is stalled. He is not acting. Netanyahu knows this situation, yet he is under pressure from his right wing. We'll talk about the political implications of this issue later. Let me come to Lebanon. In Lebanon, the situation is the opposite. There, you have a president, you have a prime minister, and you have a speaker of the parliament. The president represents the Maronite Christians, they are 30% of the population. Prime Minister Nawaf Salam represents the Sunnis, they are 30% of the population. And the speaker, Berry, he represents the Shias, who also constitute 30% of the population. And Hezbollah is a non-state player, but a political force. Hezbollah has MPs. The current government in the parliament is being run by Hezbollah and its supporters. So they have the majority in the parliament. Anyway, so this whole talk about disarming Hezbollah, which America and Israel have been parroting, is totally baseless. There in Lebanon, the president is the commander-in-chief of the army. The prime minister is basically a ceremonial post. The speaker of the parliament, he has powers. And in the current situation, the Sunni prime minister, he is actually talking about Hezbollah's disarmament, that disarm Hezbollah, and Americans are going gaga over it. But the president Joseph Aoun, the Christian Maronite, and Christian Maronites have been pitted against, especially Shias, since like 30-40 years. There have been major massacres in Beirut and other places. But this time, Joseph Aoun, he realizes the importance of Hezbollah because Israel has still not withdrawn, even after a ceasefire, from Lebanon. They are still occupying about five villages and 5 border areas. So Joseph Aoun realizes that Lebanese army will not be sufficient enough to oust Israelis. And so he is taking a different position. But the Prime Minister, Nawaf Salam, who is a Sunni and who's part of the whole Sunni group, which is being built by Israel and America in the Middle East, because there is a Sunni group represented by Hamas and other forces of the resistance, even in Syria. There are many Sunni forces who are part of the axis of resistance led by Iran. But there are also Sunnis like al-Shara, who is the president of Syria, and Nawaf Salam, who are part of the Israeli-American axis. And even Saudi Arabia and many Arab countries, although they have changed position, they too are broadly part of the American-Israeli axis. So now Nawaf Salam is pushing for disarmament, but there is this whole situation in Lebanon where the axis of resistance has checkmated the American-Israeli move, because Joseph Aoun is not moving. And the visit of the Iranian security chief Larijani to Lebanon, to many other places, the diplomatic offensive launched by Iran has played a crucial role, a decisive role in this stalemate in the Middle East, especially in Lebanon and Palestine. And as far as the other places are concerned, I'll come to you later. So this was my broadcast in English. Thank you, friends.